Well, what I'd like to do is we want to keep this kind of informal. So, um, why don't why don't you introduce the members of your group?
Okay.
Okay, I'm Andre Ellis. They call me Smiley,
All right.
And of course, I'm Robert Williams of the New Gospel Keynotes.
and we do have one more member, but he's not here right now. And that's Michael Palmer.
Okay. Now, how did Robert Williams' new keynotes come into existence?
So it came into play. Of course, we go back and everything starts with the original gospel keynotes. Even back in the day, keep it short. And back in the day, when I got hired by the gospel keynotes, it was with the original gospel keynotes in '85. So I stayed with the gospel keynotes for 12 years, and in 1997. Then I came off the road, and I stayed off the road for about 18 years. So got a phone call from the original Gospel Keynotes to do a concert in Albany, Georgia. And I believe it was Albany, and then we were going to go to Valdosta, Georgia. I agreed to go and do those two shows for him. And then Mr. Larry McCowan asked me, he said, well, what does it take to come back on the road, So then from that conversation, then I never said that I wouldn't come back to the gospel keynotes. The one good thing about Willie Neal Johnson is he always said, Robert will be back, Robert will be back. And so, I never said that I wouldn't come back to the road. And then being led by the Spirit, then I decided to come back on the road. And, of course, years ago, Willie did form the New Gospel Keynote. So I stayed with the original just like from the beginning. And when I went back this time, I went back to the original. And then, like I say, led by the Spirit, nobody was using the New Gospel Keynote's name. So we made it an LLC, made it a legit business, and we decided, being led by the Spirit, to continue what Willie Neal Johnson started years and years ago. So we just continued from there. So I would say just being led by the Spirit, to go out and be true to the music, be true to the fans, and stand on Willie's shoulders and try to keep it going. The original Gospel Keynotes, Willie was an intimate part of that, and he also was an intimate part of the new Gospel Keynotes. That's kind of how it came out, how it came about.
I noticed that all three of you, the current members of the new keynotes, um, all worked with Willie Neal. How was that experience for you guys?
It's indescribable, man. To work with Willie, he was such a legend, but he was also humble at the same time. And the people loved him. To be around him, and you always felt uplifted because he just had that aura.
Yes.
And you just felt good being around Willie. Even to this day, I think we still are reaping benefits of being with Willie, even though he's been going on 17 years now. Just carrying on with the name Keynotes and being associated with the memory and legacy of Willie has done many things, opened many doors for us. So it's a mind blowing experience to work with such a legend.
I noticed that even though all of you have been members of Willie Neal and the keynotes and in the New Gospel keynotes, when you're in your music, listening at some of your songs, I see where you kind of develop your own style outside of the box. Now, do you combine that with
Mhm.
the combination of the old style, or do you prefer to keep your own style and be original?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely draw. We draw from the foundation. We draw from the formula of the keynotes, and we have a lot of writers. We know a lot of writers, and we're writers and producers ourselves. And so we all come from different walks of life, but we all were fans of Willie Neal Johnson and the Gospel Keynotes from way back in the day before we actually got hired. And we always love their music, and we try to keep their element in it. We try to be true to the standards, songs that Willie Neal Johnson and the keynotes had made famous down through the years. So we do the standards, but we try to be relevant for today and relevant for the future as well.
And I would add, if anyone knows, like, the keynotes from way back in the day, you would know the keynotes were always cutting edge with their songs and their music. So I don't think we're doing anything new in that regard. I think we're just, we're in a new era, but we kind of stand with the same formula. The keynotes always were cutting edge, always, on the other side a little bit.
Okay. Now, Robert, you said you came off the road for 18 years, but you were actually still recording, though. Am I correct in that?
That is correct. Yeah, actually, before I joined the Gospel Keynotes, I lived in New York. My father, Bishop R.L. Williams, in Amityville, New York, and we grew up at the age of 5 years old. Always in music. Always was guitar, piano, or instrument somewhere. So he had us singing at a young age. So we had a family label that we started, and then I created my own record label. And down through the years, the whole while I was with Willie Neal Johnson, I was actually recording albums out of my own studio at the same time. So the whole while I was with Malaco, and that was keeping Malaco on the front burners. So we made sure we didn't compromise anything. But I always had my own record label going between my father's record label and my label. So we've been writing and producing, and I have like 4 CDs and 1 CD I hadn't released yet. But always working on other stuff. Even the whole while I was with Willie Neal Johnson, I was recording at my own music, and it's out there. It's on CD Baby. So, it's out there. It can be found.
There's one song that I love to hear you sing, and it's called "I Miss You So Bad," which was your tribute to Willie Neal. And
yes.
you mentioned all the guys that you worked with in there, down to Perry Taft, who I met when he was singing with Tommy Ellison. And at the end of the song, you give your props to Paul, and he hit that note like Paul. And I really like that song. But there's another song that you did that I couldn't find anywhere, and I posted it on YouTube. And it's you and Paul was singing "Walk Around Heaven." And in that song, Willie said, "Robert, don't you let Paul sing it all." How was it? How was it working with Paul Beasley?
It was great. Me and Paul have from the first day that we actually met each other, and I followed his music for many, many years before I actually met him. But he was my mentor. He was tenor singers, like Paul and Shot. They were my mentors. Shot with the Violinaires. My local group used to sing a lot of the material, the Clouds, the Violinaires, and the Keynotes. That's a lot of the material that we would sing. And so Paul was really a mentor to me, and always was a big fan. He's a great singer. We always had a great rapport with each other, and it was just great. Just following him before I actually joined the Keynotes, and then actually getting a chance to meet him and working on stage with him. We never had a problem. It was always and I've been told this a lot. It never was any animosity. It's whatever Paul did, I supported it, and I tried to build him, and he tried to build me, and we always had a good working relationship. The best. He's really a great person and a great career. Always been a fan of Paul Bees.
Let me ask you about Gino. I know this isn't in my list of questions, but my brother and I, we sang quartets for, we started singing back in 69 and 70. And we used to always sit down and listen. And we always, between the two of us, we thought that Gino was one of the best baritone singers around. What do you think about that?
Oh, definitely. Gino was a master. I'm telling you, Gino was a true baritone, and even as a person. And the thing I like about it, I love the gift that he had. A great baritone singer, but Gino's the kind of person you didn't have to guess about Gino. Right. You gonna know where Gino stands, and Gino he didn't sell himself short. I'm telling you, but yeah, one of the greatest baritone singers that I ever sung with. Smiley might want to enlighten a little on that.
Just that he had an incredible tone. Like his way of doing baritone was different than anybody else. Like, he almost sung baritone almost like a second tenor singer, but he sang it in a baritone way. Right. So that's what made him authentic and different.
That's good. And I also I've never met him, but I've talked to Jeffrey, and I was teasing him because the first time I saw him, he came. I was living in Oakland at that time, and he came out with the group that was tagging on with the Williams brothers. and this was before Pop Williams had passed away. And the name of the group was they were called Glenn Jones and the Modulators out of Florida. And they asked him how was it singing with them, because I noticed that Glenn Jones had went over to the secular side. And how was it working with him, with Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, it's good working with Jeffrey. You know, he's a trendsetter. Jeffrey is one of a kind. You know, that's basically what I can say about him. He's one of a kind. He has an incredible, undeniable voice. You know, when you hear it, you know it's him. You know, so that's what I always loved about him. He had a trademark voice, where you never had to guess who is that. You know, and then he's a consummate professional as well. So, you know, he is good work. It was great working with Jeffrey. It really was. And what people may not know, you know, Willie named a lot of us. He gave all of us our nicknames. Yes. But when I joined the group in '92, the name Smiley actually came from Jeffrey. So, and he's the one that actually created that name.
Oh, okay. I remember one of my other buddies, I haven't talked to in a while. When he came, he wasn't there that long, I guess, and Willie had called him brand new.
That's right, brand new. And Willie named everybody.
I love to hear him sing that song, Don't Wait for the Hearse.
That's right. That's right. He's the original writer of that song.
Right. I think the more popular one with Teddy was singing it, but Brand New actually was the first one I heard singing it. Now, you said you guys have several songwriters. Who writes most of the music for your group?
Myself, Andre, myself, and Robert, we both do a lot of the writing. And we have, you know, other writers that we work with, like producers. There's a young man by the name of Johnny Ruffin. He's an awesome songwriter. And another one named Peter Frederick in South Carolina. He's another great songwriter. He wrote our first single that we came out with called One Prayer Away. And that was written by Peter Frederick.
I like that song.
Yes, his name is Peter Frederick. He's an awesome songwriter as well. But for the most part, myself and Robert, we do a lot of the writing.
Now, I noticed that you and what's your third name? You said was Michael?
Michael. Yes. Michael Palmer.
I understand both of you two are musicians. Robert, do you play any instruments?
Yes. I like I said, you know, when we grew up, there was always an instrument in the corner, somewhere in the house. So, you know, I play lead guitar, bass guitar, and keyboards, and program drums.
Oh, okay, that's real good. I remember when I first met the Keynotes. I think Larry was the bass player at that time. And,
that's right.
My nephew told me that every now and then they'd ask him to play for him. You guys probably know him, Jubu Smith.
Oh yeah, we know Jubu. That's family for us, man.
Jubu started singing with my brother and myself when he was about 8 years old, and when he first started trying to play the guitar was longer than he was tall. And his brother was playing the bass, and you know, he's a big time musician now. He plays he's on tour right now, I think, with Justin Timberlake. So,
right.
What have been some of the challenges that you guys have faced in your new endeavors?
Well, I would say one of the challenges is just getting people to know, you know, our brand and that we are different, because, you know, there is three other Keynotes out there.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you have any kind of working relationship with those groups? I've never heard of anyone saying anything negative about any of the other groups, so I'm assuming that you guys parted on friendly terms.
Well, yeah, we don't have anything negative. We haven't worked with Jeffrey per se, but like even though tomorrow, like, we're on our way to Columbia, South Carolina to do a reunion with the other new Keynotes, which are the Tally Boys now. Yeah. And us and the Tally Boys and Teddy Cross, we will all be together. So we do work together quite often. And we're getting ready to do a tribute to Willie Neal Johnson on January the 8th in Tyler, Texas. And we'll all be together as one group. So, yeah, we do work together. You know, we're still working together.
So what has been the most exciting and rewarding part of what you've done since you stepped out on faith?
Well, my opinion, the most rewarding thing is as we do our engagements, and we travel from different parts of the United States, and we come across the fans, you know, the people that have listened to our music down through the years, and they're still faithful and we have conversations with them, at the concerts, at the record tables, and we hear the stories that they tell and how they've been blessed. And some of them, one of the things that really is, being an older, I run across a lot of young people that had to be like babes and had to be really young, and they tell the stories about how they heard about the Keynotes through their mom and their dad, and playing our music around the house, and then they finally get a chance to meet you, and they tell their stories, how you touched their life and you changed, because it is truly a ministry. We just don't look at the carnal world. It's a spiritual side of it. So, we try to spread the good news of the gospel and touch people's lives. And it's so uplifting when it comes back to you in their stories that they tell us how you touched them in their life.
Okay. So now there seems to be groups on every corner now, and a lot of people are thinking that it's kind of overcrowded. So how do you intend to set yourselves apart? I know that you just said the magic word, that it's a ministry, and there are a lot of groups out there that sing very well, but I don't believe that they really consider it as a ministry. Some of them seem to consider it more of a business. What is your take on that?
Well, you're absolutely right. Some of them do consider it basically a job, and for us it is a ministry first. And that's how we plan to set ourselves apart, is just continuing to be humble and let God use us in our ministry, and just try to make good, great music that is touching the people that that identify with the people today, and things that are going on today. We want to make songs that touch on things that happening today.
Okay, for those that have never heard your music, and I say that in all honesty, because out here in California, you could probably count the stations that play quartet music on one hand and have a couple of fingers left over. So, for those that have never heard your music, in 3 words, describe your group's name.
I would say exciting, fun, but anointed. Yeah.
Very, very good answer. If you had a chance to change something about the quartet music industry, what would it be?
For me, it would be, I would say the backbiting. Sometimes, we all say that we love and are out here for each other, but in all honesty, that's really not the truth. And there's a lot of things, underhanded things. I would stop all of that. I would have us all come together more and realize that it is a common goal, and that is winning souls for Christ, because we are living in the last and evil days, and tomorrow is not promised. So we have to, stand and be that messenger of peace and hope and love that Christ wants us to be. And we have to come together and do that.
I guess I would say on that note too is that just knowing that it is a ministry, and we do sing about it. We sing the lyrics every day. But it is a competitive business out there. A lot of time, the carnal world just looks at it as just a business, so it's like a machine. But we try to interject in that it's not just words in a song, and the meanings of the song, and that it is spiritual, and that it is a ministry. So that's what we try to do. We try to keep it spiritual. We know that we live in a natural world. We know that there's a carnal side and there's a business side of it, but you don't want that to overshadow the message of God and spreading it, because there are people that is going through so much in the world, so much going on in the world today, and the spiritual side, that's the message. You don't want the carnal world to just take the message out of the music, the good news message of Jesus Christ that died for our sins. And, we try to spread that through our music. So, the carnal world, it is a business side and a competitive side, but we try not to lose sight on the spiritual side of it.
Okay. Do you think that concerts are being oversaturated right now? By that, I mean, me being on the West Coast, we don't have that problem here. But I see a lot of people post flyers, and you see one flyer might have 15 or 16 groups on it.
Right.
What is your impression of that? It seems to me like that's almost like an 8-hour concert to have that many people on there, unless they're going to say you do an A and B and move on.
Right. I don't know. I mean, we've been involved in those kind of concerts. Like I would say back in the day, even when Willie was living, they would have something they call like the Blockbuster in Florence, South Carolina, or either like the Mississippi Burning. So I would think that if you're doing it every now and again, and it's always good, the fans enjoy it to see like maybe 10 or 12 of their favorite artists on one stage. The fans really do enjoy it. I think if you do it too much, it does become oversaturated. When you have it every other week, and you basically see them the same 10 or 12 artists as well.
That's the reason
I
I
think
brought
that,
it up is because I see it and it seems like it's the same. And we're going to be over here this week, or we're flying over here this week. And I noticed that, like out here, Lee Williams is I guess one of the big draws in California, but he doesn't come out here every week, And
right,
when he comes out, there's a nice crowd, and people look
right,
forward to it. But somebody we were talking the other night, and people were saying, the reason that some of these concerts aren't packed is because they were just here last month, so I can wait and see them again. And
right.
Yeah.
I just wondered about that. We know that this past week we lost the legend, Brother Joe Lagon of the Mighty Clouds.
Yes, yes.
Have you ever shared the stage with with that group?
Oh yes, many times, many times. And
What is
he was an awesome man.
what are your memories of him?
I have fond memories of Joe Lagon. He was a mentor for me. He would talk to me and outside of the stage. And those are my best memories. It's not of him on stage. It's the things he would talk to me off stage. We would go to dinners and things like that. And he was a true humanitarian. Very helpful, very thoughtful. And I'll always remember him for that. Like I said, he was great on the stage, and we all know that. But I think some of my fondest memories are those times where it was just sitting down, just talking to him, the man, and that was what was awesome. That's what I will always take with me.
Do you feel that a lot of the young groups that are upcoming now don't know their quartet history?
Yeah, I think it's some of them know it, but then there are some that it's kind of scattered.
The
And
reason I say
yeah,
that is I asked a young group one time who in their mind was kind of like pioneers of quartet, and the
right.
name Kirk Franklin came up.
Oh wow. Well, yeah. Well,
And I
yeah.
didn't say anything, but it led me to believe right there that you don't know your quartet history. If you trying to set a
Right.
trend, you need to know from whence you came.
Right, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I would say true pioneers of quartet were Dixie Hummingbirds, the Soul Stirrers. Right now, Spencer Taylor, the Highway QCs, those are pioneers. The Pilgrim Jubilees, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, the Gospel Keynotes, the Fairfield Four, Margaret Allison and the Angelics. Those are pioneers, of the quartet industry.
What would you say if you had a chance to sit down with a group of these young groups? What would you give them in the manner of advice and encouragement?
Oh, well, I would say, to, like you said, know the history. Learn the history. Learn your craft. Be a professional about it. Integrity. And that's what I would say is really do your homework and learn a little background about it. Like the world is moving way too fast. But we can't slow it down. It has to be what it is. But I would say, do study, and God gives you the gift, mold you the gift. There's nothing wrong with having mentors, but I would also say develop yourself. Like I said, Paul was my mentor. But I never forgot about myself. God gives you a gift, so it's all right with having mentors, but don't forget about yourself. Don't call and copy somebody. Don't try to copy. Be who you are. God gives you a unique gift, So that's what I would say. Don't leave yourself out of it. That's what I would say.
All right. Well, fellas, I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us here, and Gospel Quartet Paradise really appreciates you. And we have featured your music on our show this month. We've been kind of just more or less doing Christmas music, and The last
Right,
week or
right.
so, we've been all of our broadcasts have been for tribute to Joe Lagan, but I promise you that come the first of the year, you'll be right back in the rotation. So
And we thank you, Elder Williams. We thank you.
I appreciate you.
And we would just like to say, you know, from the New Gospel Keynotes, our prayers go out to the bereaved family. We know that a lot of people are praying for the family, and
also for the mighty clouds of joy, our brothers.
Yes.
You know, those are our brothers. We pray for them. We lift them up as well.
Yes.
Right. Do you have any final words for your many fans?
I would say we hope to see you soon. We hope to be out there. It's been a long time since we've been out west, so we'd love to come out there and fellowship with you soon.
Yes.
Okay, I will close it out at this time, and I really appreciate you spending time with me. You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank you for sitting in to our interview with Andre Ellis and Robert Williams of Robert Williams' New Keynotes. Stay tuned now as we present some music by both the New Keynotes and also by Robert Williams on a solo project.
Have you ever needed something from Jesus and you needed to talk to him like a natural man, but you didn't know what to do or just how you should say it? But the one thing that I know, it starts with praying. Roll, fall down on your knees and throw your hands up in the air. Tell God about it and leave your burdens there. Whenever I need him, he's just one prayer away. Falling on my knees, send a little prayer. Just one prayer is right. He will receive it if you would just believe. All you've got to do is mean it from your heart. Listen, prayer is the answer, no matter how great or small. Every one of your problems, you can answer them all. If you just don't believe just what prayer can do, I've got one suggestion for you. Rob, time your money gets saved. Better send one to the tree. Turn it over to Jesus and watch him fix it. Whenever I need him, he's just one prayer. A little prayer away. Send a little prayer. And I guarantee he will receive. If you just believe, all you've got to do is mean it from your heart. One thing I found out, whenever I get in trouble, I don't use no big words when I pray. When I want to get a prayer up, I simply say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy holy name. Thy kingdom come. Y'all sung that just now. On earth as it is in heaven. When you pray and mean it from your heart, I gotta ask you something. Won't God fix it? He'll fix it. Won't God fix it? He'll fix it. God will. Let him fix it. God will. He'll fix it. I know God will. He'll fix it. If you let him, he'll fix it. Whatever your problem, let him fix it. Your problem may be, he'll fix it. Found out, he'll fix it. A long time ago, he'll fix it. If I send it to Jesus and leave it there, he'll fix it. Once God fixes it, he'll fix it. It'll never be broke again. He'll fix it. I got to call him. Fix it. I got to call him. Robert, God will. Same right. God will. Same right. He'll fix it. I know he'll fix it. Yes, he will. God will. He'll fix it. I know he will. He'll fix it. God will. Let him fix it. I know he will. He'll fix it. Let him fix it. Let God fix it. I know he'll fix it. Yes, he will. I know he'll fix it. Yes, you'll see it. He'll make you well.
Robert, And Paul, I want you to do something for me. This song was wrote by Reverend James Cleveland and Casella George. In memories of Casella George, I want y'all to sing this song, Walk Around Heaven All Day. And Robert, don't let Paul sing it all. You hear me? You know what I want you to do? Sing, Paul. One of these mornings. Sing, Paul. It won't be long. You'll look for me, and I'll be gone. Lord, sing, Paul. I'm going to a place I'll have nothing to do but just walk around heaven all day. Sing, Paul. When I get to heaven, take your time. Take your time. I'll sing and shout. Nobody will be able to put me out. No, no, no. My mother will be waiting, and my father too. We'll join hands and walk around. Robert, walk around heaven. It's about your time. Oh, come here, Robert. Come here, Robert. Come here, Robert. Sing, Robert. So cloudy. I need you. I need you to be my guide. Lord, the Sabbath will have no end. We'll do nothing but sing. God will pray. Thank Bob. But when He says, "Well done," your race has been won. I'll walk around. Thank Bob. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Thank Bob. I'll walk around. Thank you, Lord. I'll walk around. Oh, when I've sung my last song. Oh, sing your song. Even though I'm falling, keep on holding on. Sometimes you just don't understand, but Jesus has all power in his hand. He must leave it all to him, for he cares. He knows what we're going through. It seems like another soldier gone on. Every time I look around, that's why we have to do what we can before time runs out. Sometimes we just don't understand, but Jesus has all power in his hand. We must leave it all to him to see. For he cares, and he knows what we're going through. Oh, yes, he does. Listen. Willie and I sung together. We sung together for so long. Riding down the dangerous highway, trying to make it to your town, singing rock songs and praising his name. Lord, kept us from harm. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. One day I'll meet you in glory, up there beyond the sky. We'll sing the King Jesus. I wanna hear him say, well done. But until that day, I just can't help myself, because I miss you. So bad. Oh, I miss you. So bad. You used to say, I've been waiting all night long, but you just won't let me see. I miss you. So bad. You used to say, Robert, I want you. I want you to take your time and get on up there. I don't want you to turn it loose. I want you to hold it for a long time. And I would say, I miss you. You had Gino standing on the left. You had Jeffrey standing on the right. There I stood in the middle. You had Val playing the guitar. Oh yeah. What about Mary? Sure played that bass. You had Ricky on the drums.
Said it may be my last time. Lord, I just don't know. Said it may be my last time. Lord, I just don't know. But while I'm here, I'm gonna serve the Lord. Maybe my last time. Lord, while I'm here, down here on this earth, for the rest of my life, in the name of Jesus Christ, I'll be serving the Lord. Yes, I'll be serving the Lord. I'll be serving the Lord. I'll be serving my God, yeah. Serving the Lord. Robert, if you don't mind. Amazing grace, how sweet it sounds. Sing, Robert. That saved a wretch like me. Sound good to me, Robert. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, so blind, but now I see. But while I'm here, I serve the Lord. Maybe my last time. Lord, while I'm here, down here on this earth, for the rest of my life, in the name of Jesus Christ, serving the Lord. I'll be serving the Lord. I'll be serving the Lord. Lord knows I'll be serving the Lord. When you see me singing, serving the Lord, that's when I'm serving my God. Serving the Lord. When you see me praying, Lord, serving the Lord, that's when I'm serving my God, y'all. Serving the Lord. When I love my enemies, serving the Lord, I am serving my God. Serving the Lord. When I treat my neighbor right, serving the Lord, I'm serving my God. Serving my God. Serving the Lord. Serving my God. Serving the Lord. Use me, Lord. I tell him sometimes, I say, use me, Lord. Serving the Lord. As thou faithful servant. Serving the Lord. Draw me nearer. Serving the Lord. Draw me nearer to thy throne. Serving the Lord. Robert, if you don't mind, serving the Lord. Can you come around the mic one time? Serving the Lord. Sing, Robert. I'm gonna keep on serving the Lord. Sing, serving the Lord. Serving the Lord. I'm gonna keep on. Take your time. Serving the Lord. Serving the Lord. There are times in my life, serving the Lord, when things don't go right. Sometimes they go wrong. People talk about me. Yes, they do. You know that just ain't right. We gotta leave this thing alone, Rob. But I got my The devil is gonna bring things up against us. Might turn your family and friends against you, but listen, don't you worry about your enemy. God is gonna bring them down in defeat. Don't you worry about your enemy. God is gonna place the answer up under your feet. Yeah! Good God Almighty. Something else I wanna say to you out there. Listen. Two-faced friends always laughing in your face, and they're trying to take your place. Those two-faced friends, just another one of your enemies. God is gonna place the answer up under your feet. We all got them, even me too. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Look at here. If you got a situation in your life that's been hindering you both day and night, hold on and hold out and wait on Jesus. God is gonna place the answer up under your feet. If you got a problem under your feet that you can't solve under your feet, turn it over to Jesus under your feet, because He knows it all under your feet. That cross you're trying to carry under your feet, too heavy to bear under your feet, turn it over to Jesus. Under your feet. You can just leave it there under your feet. And that's not all. Under your feet. When sickness come in under your feet and attack your body under your feet, Jesus is a doctor under your feet. Just tell Him about it under your feet. Those of you that's been crying all the time, I've got one thing that I want to put on your mind. Those tears you cried that's been streaming down your face, before the first one falls, God's plan is all